It began like any other Saturday evening. Dinner with friends, wine glasses clinking, laughter spilling freely, and a table full of stories about work, love, and the small chaos of everyday life. The kind of night where everyone lets their guard down just a little too much. My husband, Ryan, sat beside me, his hand resting casually on my knee. 8 years of marriage behind us. Comfortable, predictable, but still filled with quiet moments that made me feel safe. I didn't realize how fragile that sense of safety really was until that night. One of our friends, Olivia, had brought along her new boyfriend, a tall, magnetic man who effortlessly drew attention in every conversation. His name was Ethan. He joked about his gym routines, bragged about his stamina, and everyone laughed. I laughed, maybe a little too loudly. Then, somewhere between the second glass of wine and dessert, Olivia playfully asked if any of us ever felt jealous of our partner's attention. I don't know why I answered. Maybe I wanted to be witty. Maybe I craved attention. But the words slipped out before I could stop them. Jealous? Please. The only time Ryan breaks a sweat is opening a pickle jar. The table erupted in laughter. Even Ethan smirked. For a brief moment, I felt clever, funny, the center of attention. But when I looked at Ryan, his smile didn't reach his eyes. He said nothing, just leaned back quietly as the laughter faded. Later, in the car, the silence was unbearable. City lights streaked past the windshield like molten gold, and I wished I could rewind time. Take back that one careless line. You really thought that was funny? He finally asked, calm, but heavy. I swallowed hard. It was just a joke, Ryan. Everyone laughed. He nodded once. Everyone but me. The rest of the drive passed in silence. At home, he went straight to bed. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, listening to his breathing, steady, distant. The next morning seemed normal. Coffee, newspaper, a quick kiss on the forehead before work. But something had shifted. His kiss didn't linger. His eyes didn't soften. Over the next few days, I tried to fix it. Cooking his favorite meals, asking about his day, leaving little notes in his lunch bag. But the warmth was gone. He was polite, kind, yet distant, as if rehearsing how to leave quietly. A week later, I came home early to surprise him. His car was in the driveway, lights on. I crept inside, expecting him on the couch, TV remote in hand. Instead, a packed suitcase sat by the door. Ryan, I called, voice trembling. He stepped out of the bedroom, shirt neatly folded in his hand, calm, not angry, just resolved. I'm staying with my brother for a while, he said softly. I froze. What? Why? Because of one stupid joke, he sighed. It wasn't a joke, Lily. It's what it meant. You don't humiliate someone you love, not even for a laugh. Ryan, I know, he interrupted gently. But you did, and that's the point. It's not about meaning to hurt me. It's about not realizing you could. I reached for his hand, but he stepped back. The space between us felt impossibly wide. I just need space, he said quietly, to remember who I am when I'm not the punchline. Then he walked past me, suitcase rolling softly across the floor. I wanted to call after him, to beg, to promise it would never happen again. But the words wouldn't come. The door closed, final, gentle, devastating. For days, I waited for every car door, every phone ping sending my heart racing. But he didn't call. He didn't text. It was as if my voice had vanished from his world. That's when reality hit. I hadn't just made a careless joke. I had broken something sacred. Days became weeks. The house felt colder. His shoes vanished from the hallway. His mug disappeared from the counter. Even the bed seemed emptier, mocking the illusion that love could survive thoughtlessness. At first, I told myself he just needed time. Ryan wasn't impulsive. He was deliberate, patient, the kind of man who fixes what's broken. I convinced myself he'd come back once he realized I was truly sorry. But silence stretched on. Messages went unanswered. First short, then long paragraphs of apology, promises, memories, nothing. He existed in the world, yet was invisible to me. About a month later, I found myself outside his brother's house. Lights on, laughter spilling faintly through the windows. Heart pounding, I hesitated before knocking. His brother answered, surprise flickering across his face. Lily, hi. I whispered, I just want to see him. He shifted uneasily. He's not here. Moved out last week. Needed a fresh start. Sorry. Ice ran through me. Gone. Not just from our home, but from the city, from everything we had built. And it wasn't anger that drove him away. It was disappointment. Quiet, deep, irreversible. Months passed. Holidays came and went. Friends stopped asking about us, sensing what was already lost. I kept replaying that night, laughter, his eyes flashing with hurt, the sound of my own voice betraying him. It's strange how a single moment can unravel years of tenderness. Then, one early spring day, a letter arrived. Not an email, not a text. A handwritten note in Ryan's familiar slanted script. My hands shook as I opened it. Lily, I've thought a lot about what happened. That joke didn't break us. It revealed what had already faded. I spent years loving you quietly, hoping you saw me. Somewhere along the way, I became someone you laugh at, not with. I'm not angry anymore, but I can't go back to being small to make someone else feel bigger. I hope you find happiness. Truly, Ryan. I read the letter over and over. Every word stung, not because he was cruel, but because he was right. I had taken his patience, gentleness, and love for granted. Slowly, the pain dulled, replaced by understanding. I started walking again on paths we once shared. Sometimes I thought I caught a whiff of his cologne, but it was just memory. 2 years later, I ran into him at a bookstore. He looked older, calmer, at peace. A woman's hand rested lightly in his. He saw me, nodded politely, and walked away. The final thread snapped silently. That night, I stood before the mirror, whispering a truth I had avoided for too long. Some wounds aren't about what we lose. They're about what we failed to cherish while we had it. I mocked the one person who loved me unconditionally. And when he left, I lost not just my husband, but the man who made me feel I never needed to be anyone else. Now, every time I hear laughter at a dinner table, I think of Ryan. Not all jokes are harmless. Some echo forever.